What's good, everybody? It's The Wave, and we back with another reaction video. So this one is quite interesting. I know everybody watched the Kendrick Lamar halftime show. I mean, K-Dot been on top for, I mean, definitely since he came in the game, but you already know this last year, man, been real special. But the NFL just released a mini docu-series. Well, not series, but a mini documentary with the behind the scenes of how they condensed, everything into about 13-minute show. And I'm a sucker for anything BTS behind the scenes, any type of document, any type of series that shows the behind the scenes development of things. So let's jump right into it. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, continue to comment, and yeah, let's get into it.
All right, here we go.
How you doing? Welcome to the circus.
The Super Bowl halftime show is not only the biggest live performance for any artist, but it's become the biggest cultural touch point for America and for the world.
If this was your favorite Super Bowl halftime,
this is probably the most complicated halftime show in years.
I want to know.
Here's our 4 stages.
It's such a ridiculous feat to do this show in terms of the amount of people, the amount of engineering, the amount of time.
It can get tense,
I'm not mad at nobody,
especially, the time crunch.
Let's get out there, let's get out there. We got time to make up, let's go, hit the grass.
We want the home audience to go, how in the hell did they get that out there in 7 minutes, and how are they gonna get it off?
Say 7 minutes.
Where the hell are we?
I'm Bruce Rogers, and I am the production designer for the Super Bowl halftime show.
We're in Salem, Connecticut. So we moved here about 20 years ago. Got a little bit of land that we can hide from the rest of the world. Yeah, we love it. We love it here. It's quiet. Welcome to the crib.
When you look at the overall halftime show production team, there's the NFL, Rock Nation, and Kendrick's team, which is Dave Free. We're just a small part of that. We're the design and art direction entity of that production team.
The name of the company is Tribe Inc. We do entertainment design for live shows, televised shows, events, pretty much everything live entertainment.
This will be our 19th consecutive Super Bowl.
I got this cool model as an example, this Lady Gaga. She could go and perform in any one of these positions and put on moments of the show.
What I love about the 18 that I've had a chance to work on is that it kind of runs the gambit. I mean, Beyonce, Tom Petty. The Who was a design that I'm proud of, and it was super high tech. Prince, going way back to my first one, people think that was the best one ever.
Rihanna's halftime show, real grass and very sensitive field, so we needed to stay off of it. The flying pieces really made the mark of that performance.
Shelley and I have been working together doing design and art direction for almost 28 years, I think. And my daughter Lily has joined the fray, and she is now a fully fledged art director. She's been on 5 or 6 of these Super Bowls.
It can be tense sometimes, but we're all working together for the same goal.
We do the work we do because we love it.
So this year we're in the Caesars Superdome. It is a great city for hosting a Super Bowl. It is a venue that creates a lot of additional opportunities that we might not get in other places.
We've started as early as possible, where we will go and do site surveys.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Good to see you.
Hey, how are you?
We go early so that we can identify what the lay of the land is.
The Superdome was honestly a blessing because it was indoors. It had turf, not having to battle sunlight or grass, being a lot more sensitive. Things like the HVAC system and things you wouldn't think would come into play, but they start to affect the creative.
Bruce, good to see you, buddy. Hey, man. How are you, buddy? All right, we'll see you in there.
Yeah, perfect. Everybody, we're gonna get started. Obviously, the great news is that we have an artist confirmed that's been announced.
This year was the earliest that we've ever announcing this opening Sunday, a kickoff weekend.
Kendrick Lamar has been officially confirmed as the headliner for Super Bowl 59 Apple Music halftime show down in the Bayou.
So that allows us to have Kendrick and his team from week one be able to not only start thinking about this in the creative of the show, but we can speak about it openly.
We know who we're working with, what we're driving to, and we can obviously use his name. But in terms of any of the details of the show, number of carts, scope of it, expectations on creative, camera positions, all of that, that really will be in the days and weeks to follow coming out of this.
Part of my job here is to work on the creative side with the artist camp, but also work with the field ops for the NFL, Nick Pappas and team.
So Nick, obviously we all know, head groundskeeper here.
Our job is to go and present to Nick on what we're trying to bring out onto the field, and his job is to make sure that the athletes have a perfect professional field to play on.
While we're building the show, it's always checking back with football, checking back with the stadium to make sure that we're not interrupting or impacting the game itself.
Where we can limit runs, true stage runs on and off. I don't know, I know we went, I think one on and off most of last year. I think we can get to a point where we can do 2 on and offs from a stage perspective this year.
As we always say, no field, no game, no game, no show.
All about detail.
So we have to protect the field, and he is field protector number one.
And what you're essentially trying to minimize is the amount of time that the carts or the big field casts are sitting on.
Ideally, yeah.
The venue and how it's configured plays a big part in what we can pull off.
I think what I love about this room is starts with this ceiling, and it really does feel like a high space. I think we should take advantage of that and do as many 360 effects and camera shots as possible. His show, his arena show, is pretty kind of played in a 360 way. So I know he loves that. He loves interacting with everybody from the middle of the room.
Bruce Rogers and his team starting to really look at the building. What are the unique opportunities? What are the unique challenges? What are the restrictions we know we're gonna have to work around? And what are some of the base level plans we can set before we even know the direction of the show?
What we're trying to do today is just basically touching base, saying hello again. I think Mike's got some updates or some stuff he wants to present to us.
Yeah, I can kind of talk through, here, I'll share my screen. I think that first call was more of like a brain dump, if you will, just to kind of test the temperature and like let the team know where our heads were. We're nowhere near having a full-on design, but we were starting to think about things we thought were interesting.
My job is to take the creative that's going to come from the artists themselves, and my job is to help them get it on the field and off the field in time.
I think what's great about Bruce is he's like an encyclopedia because he's done this so many times.
You might remember that it's we have one tunnel, and it's at the south end zone, and it's the one that heads straight for the goal line. For the goal post. So we have to split left and right in order to get in something to the scale that we're after.
It was great to have Bruce as a sounding board and a partner to really, make sure we were on the right track from a logistical standpoint and just a feasibility standpoint. Anyone that's seen Kendrick, there's always this like desire to have an element of theatrics. He's never just gonna hop on stage and start singing. We have so much room and latitude to, really push this in a cinematic space.
The challenge that we have is you don't want to limit the scope of the ambition. And you don't want an artist and a creative team to go in thinking about all the things they can't do.
We knew we wanted streetlights, current thing. That's in a lot of Kendrick stuff. It's in a few Kendrick videos, so I wanted to incorporate it into this performance. If we were to do something like this and we have people on top of them, what does that look like? Is that feasible?
I think Kendrick is looking for a chance to do something completely different. So we're looking forward to helping him make that happen. This year, we have to travel underneath the goalpost. We can't remove the goalpost, and that limit is a 9-foot 8-inch high max height of anything that we roll through the tunnel.
There's 8 street lamps, and the tricky part is these have to be carts that are rolled out. Obviously, the street lamp will be down and lift up into place once it gets out there.
So we drew what you see here. We hand that to our set shop, and so now we're building mock-ups.
So this is one of our street lamp carts. We bought real street light poles, cut them down to size, and then heavily modified them to be secure for the acrobatics that'll go on top.
It's December 10th, so we're in the midst of going, we gotta go. We had a big meeting on Zoom yesterday with the set shop. So that we're dividing and conquering how we're gonna build everything. And there's so many things to build in this design.
From very early on, Dave Free was really keen on like this idea of like rudimentary childlike shapes, you know, triangle, circle, square, X. And then we landed on this formation that felt like a video game controller, if you will.
Here's our Kendrick stage, and here's our 4 stages that are the shapes of the video games.
This idea of us being at a game and playing a game within a game was like what we wanted to get across.
It's probably the most difficult that I've seen. We've never had 4 stages before.
We're in the middle of our fabrication shop. This is the main staging components that people will see. So we've got square stage, circle stage, triangle stage, and a bunch of other elements.
We just go right through the holidays, give everybody Thanksgiving off, give everyone Christmas off. Other than that, we're working straight through. And that's 250 people going solid, solid, solid.
This literally will change the way you do halftime. We'll have to have a full team building the square. Same with the diamond, same with the circle.
We're still in a nationwide search for a Buick GNX that's 1987.
The car was one of those early things as well. Obviously, by the time the Super Bowl happened, GNX had dropped Kendrick's album. So, you know, I think the car is the icon of this era for him. And, you know, it's on his album cover, it's in the video, so it was only right to have it as a part of the performance.
It's both a sort of rare and popular vehicle. It's obviously a classic, and we wanted to find one within our timeline that was pretty much ready to go as far as the exterior went, and then allowed us to do the work we needed to do on the inside.
The car is on top of our square. It's basically going to be a shell inside, and we're going to do, it's like the clown car where 30 dancers will
I know what's
come
crazy
up
is when I was watching this show live, I didn't even
So
really
we gutted the
notice all
interior,
dancers
made room for all
Like
of
I
those
did, but I
dancers to
didn't.
appear.
But when I rewatched
So
it,
now
of
we're
course,
looking
like,
underneath
you know,
the square
a million
stage parts
times.
where the car
I was
will
like,
go.
oh, man, that was even
So
crazy.
as you can see,
So
it's a
it's
lot
dope
of
to see
open
how they
space
came
for
about
the
that.
performers to be in. The cones indicate a giant hole in the top of that stage. Over that hole goes the car, and then through the hole with that access ladder and others are where the dancers will come out. Today, tomorrow, and Saturday is the bulk of our shipments. We've got about 21 trucks going to New Orleans. We've shipped triangle stage so far. We're putting circle on right now, and then we'll get a couple of the square stage carts on at the end of the day.
We'll be in LA for the majority of January, and then move our operation down to New Orleans as we get closer to the game.
Well, what we've got, I'll use my poker, my craps table. We're building, basically, this is like 5 stages in one. A little bit of each one is in the lineup. And so it's all about docking order. What do we do with it once we get on the field? Information changes quick. Like today, we changed the lineup by moving things around, so it helps us work out routes and stuff. It's a huge tool to the process.
That's dope. Like
Hello, happy Wednesday.
Actual, like, mold
We
setup.
use, as a ballpark figure, 10 field team members per piece. So, you know, it became obvious to us probably back in early December that we're going to need about 500 people to move all this stuff from the tent to the lineup and in place on the field.
Let's just zoom in on like the lamp posts. There's 8 lamp posts that are sprinkled in throughout, right? And so they end up coming in and ending up in the middle of the field. Up here you'll see them. That's these guys here. These coming down the numbers. So it's really going back to the model to try to explain this to hundreds of people on all different levels, from cart leaders to the field team, from design team, from everybody. They always come in here. We're always kind of giving them the latest because we're very liquid as far as how we change things.
There's almost an undetermined number of things that could go wrong. It's a very sophisticated process to come onto the field. It's a work of 3 or 4 months doing this, doing that, changing this, changing that. You know, it's just constant.
I think we're currently around 50 carts, I believe, and if you just line the train up, it's a quarter of a mile. And so if you're at the tail end of the train, you hear go and you just walk without stopping, it still takes you 5 minutes just to get to the goalposts. And so that means it has to be a perfect flow onto the field for us to build it in 5 minutes.
We're not moving. Get your trunks. Get ready to roll. Stand by. Radio silence. That means don't talk. Go. Let it go. Move out. Do your spots. Moving out. Moving out.
We're gonna thread right through this thing and get on the other side. It's Wednesday night, rehearsal week.
I'm sure the
we have
biggest
about
thing
3 rehearsals this
getting
evening.
that route together,
Everybody has to
getting all
work
this
together
equipment in and out,
to make
set
it
up.
what we need it
That's
to be
the biggest thing
for Super Bowl Sunday.
Because the artists and the dancers. At the
So
end of the
really
day,
what
they
we've
will be
got going here is if we've got
everything
the
gotta be
majority
That's
of
why all
our
these people
staging
are so
crew is
important.
coming through the South Tunnel. So the way the install is designed is the square that
Producers,
you'll see in the set
PAs.
design has to make it all the way to that corner.
People on the cameras.
So the first carts that come in are
biggest thing
mainly
is like
the
the
square
handrails.
staging
The
and a
actual
couple of
people
these
setting all this up.
street lights.
Those dudes are important.
What's the time you've got? So 4 minutes so far. We're clocking in around 12, 13 minutes right now with cameras and crew. And we really need to be at 8 or below. So we've got a few minutes that we still need to shave as we learn how to finesse the in and out so we can make our time.
Body nice and easy over the hill. Watch your goalpost. Watch the step.
Shelly and Lily have a very important job, and that is wrangling with our other art directors to make sure that all the detail is really as perfect as possible.
Make sure it's flush to the top and at the corner.
Good job, guys. Come on.
There you go.
It's really difficult to put down a field cloth because unless you're anchoring down anything, it's going to move. And the dancers here, there's 400 dancers, so all their syncopated dance moves tend to push the fabric.
Can you, do you have an iron? If you had an iron,
steamer.
if you had a steamer, to just run out there and steam that tarp out a little bit. My name is Jesse Collins. I'm one of the executive producers of the Super Bowl halftime show. We are focusing on creatively, got a lot of elements in this show, a lot of choreography. Got to make sure that everything's lit properly. It's really just finding all the trouble spots and really trying to hone those in. So we really need to get it right tonight. Hey, Rita. How you doing? Welcome to the circus.
The great thing about being in the Superdome is that we can be here at 10 o'clock at night and it's going to look exactly the same as it does at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we can dial in our lighting conditions and everything else and know it's going to look the same way on February 9th.
Once again, those small.
So when y'all load in, we're also going to put the stairs over here. Okay.
Gotta be
Okay,
like
got it. Small. Okay, no, it's very small. As soon as you walk in, you're like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Done.
All the elements got to come together tonight. And for me, it's working with everybody and trying to create an environment for everybody to use their superpowers. Video Village is where all the producers are. It's where Kendrick's
Video
team
Village.
is.
When I'm on
We're
tour with
talking
85,
to
I
Hamish
love
and
being
Dave,
in
our
Video Village.
directors
Like
who are
live
in the
shows.
truck. And
Shout out to
it's
Joe and
just a
Craig.
place for us to try to figure out what we
And
can
the rest
address
of the production
now,
team,
what
for
we'll
sure.
address later, and just try to really help shape this thing. Just watching this, the
I got
lighting
Dom
crews look more
going crazy
dramatic
with the
than
lights
last.
too. So
Yeah.
seeing a lot of this stuff on hand
Way
for
more
big
dramatic
productions
than
like this is like dope because being on tour with 85, like I said, it's such a big production in the arenas and things like that. I see it all the
You know, when
time.
you get there the first day, like, oh, this is large. Like, when you see it in real life, it's like, it sets in for real. So we were able to, see what ideas still worked in rehearsals in terms of like, is it realistic for him to go back and forth this many times? Is it realistic for this amount of people to be on this size of a stage?
What I didn't really fully expect was the amount of performers that we're putting on each of the stages. We call the engineer and we let him do a quick calculation, and we're in a safe zone with our performers, which is super important.
We're going to do this about 2 times fully through and a handful more in pieces. And then once it stops, then we get to address all the notes and reacting to whatever challenges we have to address.
Joey, do you want to do the grip tape?
Yeah, Julio's ready.
Okay. All right, what we're going to do is we got a request to add a little bit of grip tape because Kendrick is up here and it was too slippery.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we're going to add some grip tape. Yep, do the outer edges and right down the middle, and then we'll see if he wants more.
Here we go.
That's the food? Okay.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We were granted permission to use pyro inside the building for the first time in 7 years. We were really relying on evac systems, and we found that it's not taking the smoke out enough. So we can't take a chance on the third quarter coming in and it being hazy and smoky.
They just did one of each kind of the pyro to make the cast aware so that they knew in this next run, I think, that we'd be doing full pyro.
All right, everybody, here we go. Let's clear the field up. Everyone who's involved, here we go. This is a close rehearsal, everybody.
Scorekeeper, beat up the light.
Sam. You killed his role in this too.
Rehearsing this much for 13 minutes is definitely new. So the rehearsals was such a critical battleground, if you will, to just really test out the ideas because you have such a limited time.
My hope is that we get to just sit down, watch a great first half of football, knowing and trusting that these rehearsals are the reason why on Sunday it will be great. And so ideally, it's the stress and the running around, the hard work on these nights. So when we come in on Sunday, it's really just a matter of coming in, doing exactly what we rehearsed, and executing.
I think we got a good show. I think we got a really good show, yeah. That morning, you're checking in with everybody, making sure everybody's feeling good.
Hey, good morning. How we doing? Happy show day, guys.
Any change in the lineup?
No, that's his dress rehearsal. We're locked and loaded.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, we could not do this without you guys and everybody here, so thank you very much.
So we'll stick around.
All right.
We welcome you to New Orleans. Always a party atmosphere here. Super Bowl 59, and we are ready to go.
Give me a game day hug, all of y'all.
Great job.
The actual game was a surprise, though.
Can I borrow like $1,000 bucks? I want to get a hoodie.
Commanders fan, so it's
I didn't sleep very good. I woke up 2 or 3 times through the night, just keeping an eye on changes that might happen through the day. One of the notes I got was to try to camouflage the car, the GNX car, so when it's rolling in, people don't automatically go, oh, that's a GNX.
Let's get back to the regular season.
The Chiefs are making their way onto the field here at the Superdome.
Outside in the compound, our halftime team is getting ready. We're making all of our checks on cameras and tech. But right now, the biggest unknown is that in order for us to be able to effectively clear out the smoke and the haze after halftime, we need to open up the vents in the very top of the dome all the way to their widest. Currently, there's potential weather rolling through here, and if that's the case, we're gonna have to close those vents. And if those vents are closed, we're gonna have to significantly reduce the haze, the pyro, and the smoke in our show. So we are watching the weather map, making sure that we can keep those vents open, and we can keep the show that we've rehearsed.
These players itching to get going. Glad to have you aboard. Super Bowl 59. Here we go.
Do you know if it's still raining out
It
there?
is.
Is it like a torrential downpour out there?
I'm seeing 90% for the next at least 20 minutes.
That takes us to the end of the first. 7-0 Eagles after one. Super Bowl 59.
Before you know it, you have to start lining things up. And so that's where you have to be prepared to go as soon as that game starts, and really just relying on everything that we've practiced during the week.
Let's get all of the cart leaders. Let's get LP1, S1, S2, S3, LP8. Let's get them all right here.
Well, the rain impacts a little bit of the safety with the ramp. People slip, and so that's our big concern with that, plus protecting the set. So everything was tarped. All carts have their own tarps.
2 minutes to go in this first half, and up 17-0.
The only hiccup with that is, do we untarp at 30 seconds? Do we do it at 1 minute?
Let's stop right there. Let's get the tarp off. Let's lose the tarp right there,
That's
guys.
like
Let's lose the tarp.
the main guy right there. That's what really.
That was the hardest part, was just waiting.
Directing this.
Watching the clock, thinking you're about to go, and there's an injury or there's a timeout.
And the Chiefs will call a timeout.
You know, that 2 minutes turns into 30.
I talked to Peter about the question about half haze. He said he's comfortable with it, but we really got to be diligent.
Butterflies, a lot of butterflies, a lot of nervousness, a lot of adrenaline, but there's a lot of happiness and camaraderie.
Hey there, LP8, the best cart ever.
But it's a serious few minutes before the show starts.
Hurts lets it go, complete A.J. Brown. He's in! Touchdown, Eagles!
Clock's moving.
There's a handful of carts that are going to be outside when we begin, and it just is bringing in a lot of moisture and wet.
I think I was the most concerned about the stage being slippery, and you know, before the show you can hear Kendrick talking on the mic being like, hey, the stage is wet.
So we all have towels, so we're gonna dry everything off.
Copy that. I am in position.
And they will run out the clock and head for the locker room as the seconds tick away.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Everybody should be at their carts. We should be on a standby to stand by.
Stay tuned for the Jeep halftime and catch Kendrick Lamar at the top of his game, the Apple Music Super Bowl 59 halftime show. That's all coming up next.
Watch your step and move out. Move out. Let's get out there. Let's get out there. We got time to make up. Let's go. Hit the grass. Hit the grass. Let's see 3. Come on down.
The people up in halftime control at that point, we are on comms, we're communicating.
Jesse, we're gonna open the roof. We're gonna open the roof? Woo! We're go for pyro.
But we can only watch and hope that everything we rehearsed and talked about is being executed as it needs to on the field.
Woo! That's nice.
And we'll have 8 minutes to get everything set and into place for the start of the show. And that means it's 7 minutes. We have to call the point of no return for the commercial break, which is a minute long to run.
Go to your spots. Go to your spots.
All right, the lights are out. That means the halftime show is coming your way.
So now we're in the point of no return, 1 minute.
When we come back, it's Kendrick Lamar.
So it's 7 minutes, even though we're not fully set. Once we call it, there's no turning back.
Watch step. How'd it go, all right? Is his car nice and dry?
Yep. We're good. 20 seconds. 90, 80, 70.
Here we go, everybody.
The energy only circulate through us. Everybody must be judged. But this time, God only favoring us. 20 years in, still got that pen dedicated to bare hard truth. Etiquette speak with a vigilant tongue. Predicate this time is I'm carrying heavier hearts right now, like a power lift with Olympians too. Carrying various darts right now. I deserve this like tiramisu. We go body for body. I hand you a body. I'm probably a better masseuse. Really don't bother nobody, but they run it by me if I got to clear out the room. I said I'm the greatest back when you debated the number 1 and number 2. Topic was always hilarious to me. You carried them to me. I brought out the face.
There's going to be about 85,000 people in the stadium watching the game and 130 million that are watching it on TV. The fans that are there for the most premium sports and entertainment experience that exists on earth, and we need to deliver on that.
There's a lot of people watching us expecting the best. We don't want to walk away after this show and think that we didn't really pull off the best thing possible.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
what America wants.
Sam really brought a
For
lot
the
to
last
that
3
performance
months,
too,
there's
though.
been pictures
Samuel
of
Jackson,
all of
sorry.
these things. So now to see the street lights and to see the car and the steps and the red plexi room, all these things were just ideas. And now they are physical pieces of scenery. So Bruce and Dave and Mike and Shelley and the whole team, we're seeing it all in real life.
There's definitely the exuberance and the high fives and the hugs when the show ends. But we as a team can't celebrate until the last cart is off the field.
All right, back your carts. Run out, move out, move out.
When we're running off the field, it's first come, first served to get through that tunnel.
Cart coming through. SL2, let's go, let's go.
So it's chaotic.
Move, keep going, this line. Stand by, line them up, give me a line.
Everybody's just running as fast as they can through the tunnel. The cast, the dancers, cameras, trying to get out.
Moving. This side. Just line up, you guys hold.
And in this stadium, there's one tunnel. So everybody's going to the same place.
Once we load all the stages off the field, once the crew all empties out, that to me is the moment of celebration.
We did it.
Once everybody gets in the tunnels, it feels really good. And it feels really good to have the volunteers be really proud of what they did.
Shelley, Lily, I'm really proud of them. My daughter Lily, she's fierce and she's fearless, and she got bit by the bug and she loves it. One of these days I'll probably do my last halftime show, but I'm looking forward to what she does 35 years into her career like I am right now.
It's a big team. It's a really big team, and so you just kind of know that everybody's an expert in their field. We have the best lighting, best audio, best producers, best directors.
Yes!
For me, it's just all gratitude. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be able to design and create on such a high level and a large platform.
There's so many things you can learn by doing things with a massive professional production team.
Woo! Amazing.
If you can pull off what we're able to pull off, then you can pretty much feel confident that you can do anything.
I got an Academy Award.
Those are Emmys. Little baby Emmys.
Hey dude, good job. Again.
Yep, appreciate it.
Congratulations.
I have a tradition where as soon as it's over, I step out, call my mom.
Well, did you get to watch?
She's 80-something years old. She goes, oh yeah, the halftime show is better than the game.
I'm glad you got to see it. I love you.
It is an exhausting process and it's stressful, but what I find is that when you work on this show, we all come together to be a part of the team that knows if you're successful, if you do it right, we get to win the Super Bowl.
I want to thank the Doug Cook Academy of Television Staging, the school.
Man, such an insightful video. Super, super dope. Make sure to comment some of your favorite moments at the bottom. It was definitely something I felt like. Shout out to the whole team, too. Shout out to the NFL for releasing this. Like, again, shout out to Kendrick, man. Such a great, historic performance for sure. So make sure y'all keep liking and subscribing. I'm going to keep knocking these out. Just super dope videos, man. So y'all come vibe with me. It's The Wave, and I'm out. I'll catch y'all next time.